everybody. My name is Benny, and welcome to The Fool's Apprentice. Again, we have another tarot chat. We have Kristy from Green-Eyed Tarot. Hi, Kristy. How are you?
Good.
Oh my God. So you say you're from New York.
I am.
How are you native New Yorker?
I am. I am a native New Yorker. So I live on Long Island. So I'm not like
Okay.
city. I'm not in I don't live in Manhattan. I used to work in Manhattan. I used to work in the city. We're Long Island. People who don't know, Long Island's like not that far, right? It's like I can hop on a train and be in Manhattan, be in the city, but I'm
Oh,
I'm on Long Island. But yes, I'm a native New Yorker.
and because I can hear a little bit of an accent, but your accent is not very
I
pronounced.
It's not very pronounced. Because I try really hard. That's one of those things I try really hard to rein it back in. I lived in the South for like 10 years. I lived in Atlanta.
Give me a moment.
So,
Give me a moment.
mhm.
Okay, so my camera went out. Sorry about that, guys. So you were mentioning about Long Island,
Yes.
and
Yeah. So
what about Long Island? Because something about us not knowing.
oh, well, yeah. So for people not familiar with New York, Long
Yeah.
Island is, it's not Manhattan, right? It's not the city, but it's like a 20-minute train ride. Like we can hop on the train and we're in Manhattan. So, but Long Island is just an island, basically. Like we're on an island and, so it's just more like the suburbs. But yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Very nice.
hmm
And
yes.
so tell us about your tarot channel name, Green Eyed Tarot. That's very interesting to me.
Yes. So basically it's nothing really too exciting. There's a little bit of a story behind it. I have green eyes, so that's pretty
Okay.
much number one. Is And it's interesting because I'm the only person in my family who has green eyes. We can't I mean, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, my brother, my parents, nobody has green eyes. So
Wow.
it's a little bit different. My mom's eyes are really blue, like blue, really blue. So is my brother, but I don't know how I ended up. And I think they always told my mom, like, they're probably going to change. Like when I was a baby, they're going to change. And they didn't. I just have green eyes. So it's just, that's just been something that, is funny, like with us and our family, like we always
Hmm.
talk about, we don't know where they came from. And, uh, so I like to think I have some like ancestor somewhere, right, that had them, and like someone had
Yeah.
them, and like that's where I got them from. And and I think too, it's just I've struggled like my whole life. I just struggled with like body image issue, like self esteem, like be like all these different things in my life. And it was like, when people are like, well, what's something you like about yourself? Like, or like, and how hard is that, right? When people ask us, like, what do we like? What are our strengths? I'm like, oh God, are you kidding me? Like, I can name everything I don't like about myself, but it's
Oh,
hard.
that's the
So,
easiest.
right? That's the easy part. So I think, so I think like that was always one of the things. Well, you know what? Like it being really down on myself a lot, like throughout my life, like in different times of my life, and thinking, what I like about myself is I have these green eyes that are like unique, and everyone's always like, "Oh, you have such pretty eyes." And, it was always like something
Yes.
that, so it was like a positive, it was something that I could look at myself in the mirror. And like when you look in the mirror, you look at yourself in your own eyes. Like it's like they're right there, So, and it's
Yeah.
just something that it was always like a good, something I can focus on that was positive that I liked about myself. Right. So, like, yeah. So I don't know. It just fit me. I was
Very
like,
nice. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm the only one in my family as well with green eyes. My
Yeah.
mother has dark brown eyes. My dad like black eyes. You couldn't even see his pupil. Then it was me. I had green eyes, very light skin when I was young. Then my brother, jet black eyes like my dad. My brother Anselmo, blue sky blue eyes. And my brother
Mhm.
Mario, very light, beautiful coffee colored eyes. Uh, my mom's Mexican, my dad's Spanish, so we're the
Mhm.
my Spanish side of the family. But we
Mhm.
really don't know because I don't know that side of the family at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
But very cool. So now I went back because I've been, I'm following your channel, and I
Mhm.
always go back to the beginning of your channels. I always try to learn a little bit about everybody that's coming on. And your like fourth or fifth video was actually an introduction of yourself,
Mhm.
and you talked about learning the tarot or getting introduced to the tarot at 16 years old. How did that
Mhm.
come about?
Yeah, so I was 16. It was 1993. So people can do math and figure out
Oh my
how old
God.
I am. But
Now, do you
yeah.
remember the date and the time?
No, I don't. It would be funny if I did. But I no, 1993, 16. I think it came out of teen angst. You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
angst, well, like teenage years. I I was raised Catholic. It's all connected to like my spirituality, I feel. Like tarot is a big part of that, and like I think I just, I grew up Catholic. I did all the things you're supposed to do as a Catholic, right? I got communion, I got confirmation, I went to church every, like and my mom is like a very devout Catholic, which I think is wonderful. I think but there was always something that didn't resonate with me. Like I would go to church and I would look around and I'd be like, why is everyone like chanting? Like, I don't know. It was just weird. It was like this repetitive chants and they all sounded miserable. Like nobody sounded like happy. They were like, hallelujah. And I'm like, you guys sound like you're miserable. Like it, organized religion didn't make sense to me. And then I was like, why can't women be priests? It was just a lot of like questioning. And so
Hmm.
I had a lot of questions. And I think, I don't know how it just sort of grew out of that. Like I started to research like paganism and then I read this book, Holy Blood, Holy Grail, right? This is way before the Da Vinci Code, right? This is like the origin stories of like the Da Vinci Code. And it was all about how like Jesus was a man, and Mary Magdalene wasn't how they depict her. And so it opened my eyes to like all of these things. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more, than I knew. And so then that's when I started to like really get into more of like the paganism slash witchcraft, like, world and community. And that led me to tarot. It was almost just like this. It was like the next, to me, it feels like a next logical. It was like weird.
The next logical step.
Yeah, I
But how,
got like,
so did you go to a store and find a deck? Did somebody
yeah,
introduce it to you?
no, no, I went to Barnes and Noble. Where did you go when you wanted books, right? You
In
went to a
19, in 1994?
Barnes in 1983, and Borders. We had like the Borders bookstores. We had
Okay.
Barnes and
I
Noble.
didn't know
Yeah,
that. I didn't realize they were around that long.
yeah, yeah. And so I went to a bookstore and and I went and they had like, one tarot, like two tarot decks or something, it was like, it's not like it is now. Like it was definitely like a limited, and that's it. I picked up the universal weight, the blue backs with the stars on them,
Okay.
the universal weight. And that was it. I had like my little tarot deck and I like hid in my room because I was like, God
Oh
forbid
yeah,
anyone.
being
Yeah,
Catholic, yes.
yeah, you bring it up to your room and that was it. It was like me, spread them all out on the floor, no idea what I'm looking at, like what's happening, I just remember seeing the devil card and like, oh my God, I'm like like my mom's gonna like come in, like, oh my God, it's the devil, so I had no concept of what any of it meant. Yeah, I
So
just
how did you start learning the tarot?
So I did get a book. Like I got, it came with obviously like the littlest white book. So
Right.
that was it. That was the first. It was like keywords, right? It was just keywords. So like I really didn't have much of an explanation. It was just like, this is what this card means. This is what and it was the keywords. And then I I did get a book. I ended up getting a like Rachel Pollack, 78 Degrees of Wisdom is what I ended up, I believe, getting. I think I think that was like the first tarot book that I had.
Let me
I'm
tell
pretty
you,
sure.
being like
That's
I got it maybe a year in, I started reading
mhm.
that book, and that book was
Mhm.
really way over my head at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
think there's just no way right off the bat in the first couple of
No.
months would I have like been able to comprehend. I
Yeah,
read it
yeah.
now and
And
I'm better at it, but
right. Yeah. It's one of those that like, I didn't know. It was like I didn't know what I was doing, right? Like
right.
1990, 1993, 94. We don't have the internet, right? We don't have the resources we have right
Hmm.
now. And I'm an isolated teenager, like in my bedroom, in my bedroom. So it was like, it really was me just looking at the pictures on the cards. And like half the time I made up my own, like, I would like make up my own things. Like, I think this is what this means. And, so it was very like, it was no kind of formal, like it was just me sort of like looking at
What
these cards.
so that first year, like what were some of the challenges that you faced in that first year other than just like learning the cards?
I think the challenge was is that I was so secretive about, like I had to be so secretive about it.
Hmm.
So I couldn't just be like, let me carry my tarot deck like everywhere, like, and yeah, I couldn't, like I wasn't doing that. And again, the lack of resources, no internet, we didn't have internet. And it wasn't something that I had like people I could talk to about it. Like it just felt very like isolating, so it wasn't like anything that I definitely didn't like learn to read tarot like when I first picked it up. Like,
Mm.
even though I first picked up my first deck when I was 16, I did not, that was not something that like I learned actually how to do it for many years after that,
So
like
how were you using the cards at the beginning?
when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like when you were, what were you doing with them?
I would literally just like I said, sometimes I would just spread them all out, like
Mhm.
on like on the I just look, and then I would shuffle them. I would do like I would just do like a three card, just throw down three cards. You know what I mean? And just like I would just I'd be like, I think this is what it is. I think this is what these mean. Like, look at these keywords. Okay, like how do these connect? And I wasn't really. I think I was like being really literal with them when I was a teen. I mean, honestly, like I was being like super literal with them, like and thinking I was actually using them for like divination purposes. Like, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my future. You know what I mean? Like,
So evidently there was something about tarot that you stuck with because you've been doing it for over 20 years.
mm-hmm,
You weren't using them like what it sounds like what they were intended for. What was it
mm-hmm.
about the tarot that still kept your interest going and you weren't bored with it or
Right.
were just bound and determined to learn how to use?
I mean, it definitely was an ebb and flow.
Hmm.
I have certainly not used tarot for all those years. Like, there were years where I didn't pick them up at all. So it definitely was an ebb and flow. It was always there. Like, it's not like I like cleared I got rid of any tarot decks I had, they were always there. I always had them. I think it was like an ebb and flow thing. Like, I would settle into a period of my life and I would be like, I'm going to get back into tarot, I'm going to pick it up. And then there were more resources available and I was able to get more knowledge and I was able to pull from different places and really start to learn what it actually meant, and like what I was supposed to be actually doing with these cards and how I could use them for myself. I mean, I can honestly say I can honestly say it hasn't been, it's only been the last maybe like 7 years that I've used tarot like every day, like religiously, pretty much every day. That tarot's been a part of my life for like, so it's really only recent that it's been like such a big, like, a big part of my life and taken on a different meaning for me, like very connected to my spirituality and my spiritual practice. So it's, to me, I don't see them as separate anymore.
Okay.
It's all part of it. Yeah.
Now, have you taken classes before?
I never took an act like a I never took any formal tarot like classes. I was in um there's a group, like they're on social media, they're on YouTube. They're called the Sisters Enchanted. I don't know how I found them. I think I found them like it was years ago, but they did this thing called Tarot Throwdown. They have a class. So I guess I kind of did take a class. It was called Tarot Throwdown, and they had a Facebook group, and like that's where it's still active. I just don't know that they do this class anymore, but and they housed everything on this Facebook group. So there were like units you went through, and there was a lot of different exercises, like, you went through like the fool's journey, like they had a fool's journey. So
Hmm.
it was really interesting. So that was, I think that was the only like really formal, like kind of formalized, like let's study, with other people type of situation. I don't think I've never done a class, but that was like probably the first time I ever did anything like formal.
And um, how long do you think it took before you felt like, okay, I'm getting it. I'm understanding how to use the tarot. I'm getting the meanings of the cards.
hmm I mean, it took me, because I feel like it was so broken, right? It
Hmm.
was such a broken like practice from like when I first picked up my cards. I mean, I feel like it took me like year, I feel like it was like years and years, before I was like, I'm confident, like where I like don't immediately pull out a guidebook. Like, I love a good guidebook because I love the
Hmm.
way people write about the cards. So when I find a guidebook and I'm like, oh my God, I love this guidebook, I'm always like, I like to dig into it. Or sometimes it'll just be one card and I'll be like, well, I want to see what it says about this card. But um till I mean, it was a long time before I felt confident to not, oh, I don't need this anymore. Like, I can throw those down and I can make connections now. Like, I feel like that was probably again like the last like 6 years, maybe within like maybe like 6 years ago was when I was like, okay, I know how to like I can put these cards down and I can connect them. Like I can connect. Yeah.
And what about the court cards? How do you feel with the court cards? Because you know the court cards are a big challenge for everybody. It seems like.
Right. Yes, it is. To me, they're not. Like I connect with those court cards. I either see pieces of them in myself, like I find where they fit into me as me, because I
Okay.
use tarot for such an introspective. I use
Hmm.
tarot almost like 90% about myself. About myself and for so like I find, but you know what also helps too is like I'm always thinking like of like characters, like when
Hmm.
I'm so weird, I have tarot on the brain, like I think it's just there now, so like I'll be watching a show and I'll be like that's like a knight of like that's a knight of cups, like or like you know what I mean, or like I always try to find like people's personalities and connect them. So I'm like reading a book, I'm like, oh, that's you know, and I connect them to a court card, so it helps me to like
Yeah. No. Right. You just gave me something that I don't know if I've ever considered is the idea of seeing myself in the court cards, yeah, parts
hmm
of myself. But it led to another thought of, I wonder if I could see myself in every card. So now
right.
that's something that's going to linger
Or
in
a
my
time in
mind.
my life, like a time in your
Yeah.
life.
Now
You know
I've
what I
done the
mean? Like,
time in my life. Lisa Pepez does tarot memoirs series. Have you seen that?
mhm. Yes.
So that part, but to see like
Yeah.
how I fit the card, that
Right. Right.
yeah. But I
Or
like
like
that
in
idea.
certain areas of my life. Like I feel like, oh, with this person or in this situation, I'm always a this. Like I'm always a page of it when I'm in these situations, you know, or something like
Okay.
that. Like I try to think like how yeah, how does it really to me and like as a person, like how do I don't often like are thinking like externally. I don't know. I don't always think like, oh, there's a king, so that must be some man. Like a there has to be a man in my life somewhere. I'm like, I just don't.
Oh, yes. I've
I
gotten to a
don't
point where it's about the characteristics of the card that comes out on the person could be this, this, and this instead of a man or a woman.
Right. Like yeah, I don't know. I think maybe because I don't read for other people. Like I'm not professional. I don't read. I'm not often trying to make connections of like who could this person be? Like I don't know. I don't struggle with like who could this be? Who could this be about? Like it's more of like what is that? How is that reflected in me? Or am I embodying those characteristics or I'm not or I need to be. I need to connect to that energy more. That's how I don't know. That's how I see the core cards. So
Okay.
I don't really struggle with those as
Let me tell you, there are a
now.
lot of people out there going, lucky you. I still struggle
No,
with that.
for me it's like judgment. Every time judgment comes up, I'm like, I hate you because I don't know how like judgment comes up and I'm like, here we go because I'm still not comfortable with judgment. I think it could be the religious implications on the actual Rider-Waite Smith, you know,
Hmm.
like there's a bunch of naked people coming out of I'm like I listen, I don't so I struggle with certain cards like that. Like
Well,
judgment is one of those.
when I get judgment or justice, for me, they have specific roles.
Right.
Uh, justice is about external consequences and
Mhm.
of decisions I make. Judgment is about internal consequences, how it affects my self-esteem, how to, if I do something
Mhm.
immoral, like how,
Right.
do I live up to the standards of what I think I should be? And then there's
Mhm.
that judgment that will eventually comes. So that's more internal. But yeah, there are
Right.
cards. So that was one for a while that I struggled with. But now when one shows up, I think of the other, and then it clarifies that
Mhm.
card,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that little
yeah.
mind game. Have you always read the Rider-Waite Smith?
Yes. Yeah, Rider-Waite Smith is like the system. I never um like Marseille is so beautiful. Like I feel like Marseille is so beautiful
Yes.
and it's so like there's such is that like historic like I don't know, it's like that historic piece that you're, you know, and but like I can't read Pip. Like, you know, like I'm such a narrative person. I'm pretty sure I made a video on like on one of my videos is like on storytelling, like in narrative. Like I have like those scenes are like they really do something for me when I can look at a card. So looking at like five wands on a card, I'm like, okay. Like it falls flat. Like I just for me, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm sure I could read it like I know what the five, I know what that represents, but I don't know. I like to have like sort of scenic, like very
Yeah,
scenic.
because there's things that will pop out within the card.
Mhm.
And sometimes artists will emphasize something within the card that's different from another artist or from the original Rider-Waite Smith that will come up. I have maybe three or four Marseille decks. Uh,
Mhm.
I think, is it? Pagan Otherworlds. That's kind of paganish. I mean,
I have,
pippish.
yeah,
I
yeah, I
love
have.
that one. It gives you enough scenery, but I think it
Yes.
leans pippish.
I just started using that more. Like it's so funny. That was one of those that like, and I talked about it recently in a video too. I'm like, this pig in other worlds, man. Like it was one of those like I was like, I'm not gonna buy you. Like I'm not. You're beautiful. Everyone loves you. Like you're, it's like I'm not gonna get you. Because everyone has it. And I'm not going to do that just because everyone has it, because I know I'm not going to read you because you're too pippish. Like it was like this whole thing. And then I ended up getting it. And then like I didn't use it. And then I started using it. I'm like, man, it just really is like, it's beautiful. That's probably the close, like you said, that's the
It
closest I have to anything like, yeah, like
it
pip.
gives me the same familiar feel as the Spacious Tarot. Um,
Hmm.
there's enough content, but it leaves
Yes.
it open enough for a broad, wide interpretation
Hmm.
of what you could see in it. Your brain will
Hmm.
fill in that space. I have the New Beginnings. It's my favorite pip deck. And then there's like the Tochi something or other. Mr.
Birds,
Froggy.
Mr. Fiber for
Yeah,
Fiber. Yes.
his. I like that. Those are the three that I have that I
Yes.
and I only got them because I was afraid that they might go out of print, and I just wanted to have them just in case.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when do you use Oracle cards?
I do more recently. I feel like more recently, like I've always had Oracle cards. I definitely have more tarot decks than I do Oracle decks. I definitely have them. Have they sat on my shelf for a long time? Yes, like absolutely. They're not the ones that I wouldn't touch them as much. But lately I've been pulling them into and I've been enjoying using them together. I didn't do that. I didn't usually do that. Like an oracle card would be like, let me pull one and I'll put it like on my altar, or I'll put it over here and like that'll be like my focus. It was always like separate from tarot. But now I'm really enjoying using them together, like using oracle cards together. Um I think the oracle card, because it's so like open ended, like you could do anything with oracle card. Like anything
Mm-hmm.
could be, could be an oracle card. Like it's so open ended. So I feel like they have to be really specific, like to something that's gonna like resonate with me. Because I feel like I said, there's so many oracles out there. You can make them
I
about.
love the Oracle cards because they are so open, whatever's
Hmm.
supposed to come up will come up. Whatever it is
Hmm.
that's going on in your life with the question, I think because it's open, it just brings up what's necessary in the moment.
Hmm.
And but with tarot cards, because there is this defining meaning,
Hmm.
it kind of it's more structured. It's really interesting. My brain is very structured, but
Hmm.
oracle cards seem much easier for me, even though, you'd feel like they would be harder because it could be anything and everything. I don't find them that way, but I like using them together because
Hmm.
there is that balance,
Yes.
that comes
Yeah.
up.
The
So
oracle card. Yeah. I don't think
the
I can use oracle. I don't think I can use, like I've never done like pulled more like just an oracle spread, if that makes sense. Like I've never sat down and
yeah.
just oracle cards because I don't know that I would be able. I don't know that I would be able to make the connections. I like it as like more like it expands on the tarot, or it adds like a different layer, or like pull a tarot card, pull an oracle card, pull a tarot card, like, and it just gives these like different dimensions. I don't know. I've never sat down and been like, let me just do a 3 card or a 4 card with just oracle
I've
cards.
done
I
it
don't.
a few times. Well, I've done it more than a few times. It's different. It's very different the way it feels.
Mhm.
But I use the Oracle card differently than you do, as the way you were explaining it. I use mine as the focal point, and then the tarot
Around like.
cards are what really,
Mhm.
define what I'm supposed to be focusing on and paying attention to. Same thing, focus on paying attention
Mhm.
to what I'm
That's
supposed to
interesting.
do.
Yeah.
And I've been doing
I'll have
that.
to try that. Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
done that. Like it's a good way to like, because I always do. It's so interesting that you say that. I always do the tarot cards. It's always like tarot first. Like they're like and then I like put the oracle, like they layer like the
Yeah,
oracle cards on.
somebody I can't remember where I learned this from. The oracle cards in the middle. It tells me what I'm supposed to be focusing on.
Hmm.
The tarot on the left is how I can accomplish that goal for the day. The card on the right is the things that can get in the way of me being
Hmm.
able to accomplish that goal. And so then it gives me this idea of, and that's for pretty much anything. Like if I have an important meeting or I have to have this heavy conversation or whatever it is, that
Hmm.
spread that's my go-to spread. Do you have a go-to spread?
Do I have a go-to? I use honestly, I use what I call the week behind spread. I don't do a week ahead spread. I do the week behind spread.
Okay.
Like 'cause it's very reflective. So like I pull like at the end of the week, I'll pull like cards from like like one from Monday through Friday, and then try to make connections about things that I've already experienced, and
Oh,
then maybe how I can grow or things that I could have learned. Just something that happened on those days. It helps me remember what has like reflect. It's a very reflective
yeah, you know,
practice.
I understand lessons learned, that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah. I have
Uh,
a very reflective like in my job, in my day job, my regular job that I do, my job, I where it's a very reflective consultation, reflective supervision, reflective practice. It's very heavily emphasized. So and it's funny because like my supervisor once said to me, which was so weird. It was like, you're really good at like the reflective piece. Like you're really good at like that reflective piece. And I kept thinking, that's because I read tarot. And that's how I always read tarot. And it's been helping me be reflective. So I was like, that's that tarot. Like that's, I
it's a
really feel
skill
like that's,
builder. It's a
yeah,
skill
it
builder.
really, I really feel like it helps me, like, and that's so, like I said, I like this week behind type of thing where I can reflect. Because I've never used really tarot other than my 16-year-old self, where I thought I was actually divining like my future with it. I've never used it in that way. I've never used it as a like a divinity. Like it's always been introspective. It's always been reflective. It's always been for transformation, for change, like for me to help
Yeah,
me like figure myself out. You know what I mean?
I
And
do the exact
accountability,
same thing.
and things like that, like exploring like all the stuff that is hard like about being a human being, and the stuff that we do and why we do it, and like our motivations, like things like that. I'm like very like using it for that type of
Yeah,
tool.
I do the exact same thing. I use it to grow as a human being, to grow
Mhm.
spiritually, to be a kinder person, all that kind of stuff. It's really about reaching my best potential as a person on this earth. So that's how I use it. I'd say 95% of the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, when did you kind of start thinking, I want to do it? I'm thinking of doing a tarot channel. Like, where did that spark come from for you?
I I think it probably grew out of like the pandemic, like so many of us with the
Yeah, a lot
pandemic,
of
like
people ended up skirting.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it wasn't during the pandemic, but I think that's probably where like the little seed was planted because I was home. I couldn't work. Like my job closed. So now I'm like, after working, all I've done is work since I was like 15 years old, and I'm like, now what do I like? You're telling me I can't. I have to stay home. I'm like, great. Like, so it was like so funny. Like I was like, I took that opportunity. Oh yeah, I'm gonna really dive back into tarot and like get, you know what I mean? I never have time for anything. I'm so tired. I'm gonna like, now I have all this time, and then that's how I ended up with you. Like I ended up on Tarot Tube during the pandemic because I had so much
Yeah.
time on my hands. So I think that was like the seed. I think it was like, I think it was more like the connection piece. Like I never had people in my life that did like, I don't know anyone really like in everyday life.
Me either.
Now it's more common. I meet people so many now and they're like, oh yeah, I read tarot cards. I'm like, well, where have you been? Like, you know what I mean? Since I was 16 and hiding in my room. But like it's more, I would say it's more accepted now. It's definitely more of seen as more of a tool, right? For
Yeah.
like we're saying, like so even like therapists and things like that, counselors and stuff using it in their practice as a
Yes,
tool. And
they
that's
do.
become great. Yeah, that's
As
become.
a therapist, I can tell you they do. I actually, like 2 months ago, Drea Bloom, who's
Mhm.
big in the
Love her.
tarot
Yeah,
community,
love
she's
her
trying to help.
books.
I
Yeah,
went to one of her workshops on how to use the tarot in therapy, which was
yeah,
great.
yeah. I mean, I would, and so like I have a book called Tarot and Psychology, and it's like the most interesting book. So I think it's become more accepting now. Like, so you find
Hmm.
more people, but I never had anyone that I could be like, hey, let's hang out and read cards together. Like, I would have loved that. I would have loved that to just be with someone like and hang out and like, pull cards for each other or like, just, so I think it was that connection piece. It's like finding people who you're like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
someone
no,
that
I like when I was doing the tarot, I started the channel first mainly to s- be like the person people could follow is brand new. But
Mhm.
I started these tarot chats because it was lonely. I didn't have anybody, like you were just saying. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have anybody to hang out on Sundays at
Right.
Starbucks to pull out cards and talk about cards.
Right.
I had nobody. So I said, oh, you know what? I would see y'all and I'd be really interested in y'all. And I just came up, I don't know where it came from. It just, this thought came of interviewing people. And that's how I've been doing this. And it's
Yeah.
been really neat meeting so
Yeah.
many people.
It's great to watch them, because it's like I watch them on YouTube, but then I'm like, hey, like I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
think you know, you're like, oh, you said that, and then you said that, and like, but now you see them like sitting down, for a good chunk of time and just, talking about it. It's like
You,
that
uh,
connection.
your first video was actually 4 years ago. It was a walkthrough of a major arcana deck.
I know. It was amazing. That was amazing. That was during the pandemic. I was
Okay.
like, I need to get this off of here. I was like, but no, I can't. I'm like, it's like I can't. I can't. It's so bad. It's like amazing. It's like nothing. It's like no, I don't speak. And I'm not really I can say this, like I'm not those are not my favorite types of videos. Like I don't think I'm very natural at because I also don't edit my videos. It's like what you see is what you get. It's like raw. You know what I mean? I'm
Hmm.
like, and half the time, like I'm like, oh, sorry, the garbage truck's outside, or whatever, because it's New York, so you can't open your
Yeah.
windows because it's like so. I feel like when I do like walkthroughs, I'm like, I don't know. Should I talk? Should I not talk? Does anyone want to hear my opinion? Should I just shut up? Like, should I just show I'm like, I don't know. Like I never feel like comfortable. Like my little spread it out Sunday that I do where I just do spreads. That's to me, like I feel like when I watch those back, which I don't always watch my videos back, but I'll like watch and I'll be like, now see, like I seem more relaxed. Like I seem just more settled, like because I'm just pulling cards and read it, and we're just, reading cards and it's fun. I never feel comfortable like doing walkthroughs. I don't know, like in flip throughs. It's not my most
For me, it depends.
comfortable.
Like when I do walkthroughs, I'm not trying to teach anybody anything. I'm just really talking
Yeah.
about the cards and what I
Right.
see, what I like, what I don't like. Um, then I have moments where I'll be in a deck and I'll be all excited, and then we reach like 3 or 4 cards in a row, and I'm like, I got nothing to say, so just
Yeah.
keep flipping.
Yeah. Yeah. Quiet. Quiet time.
But I'm
Like,
starting to get comfortable with quiet in there.
yeah.
And
The pause.
so,
Yes. Okay.
are you using what equipment do you use to do your videos?
Just my iPhone.
Just your iPhone?
Yeah, I have like this my partner bought me this like really nice mount, that, is really nice. Like, I must say like it's very sturdy. I like it. It's good. It's like he's like if you're going to do this, like, you need to get something that's, good. So it's good. I have like a nice, but I don't know. I don't know that I never like consider the lighting. Like it's so bad. Like I try. I'm like, okay, I'll open the shades. I'm like natural light. Okay. Like, and I'm like, can you see the cards? Okay, good. Like it's focused. I don't know. I'm not unfortunately, like I wish I had like tons of time. Like my job keeps me pretty busy. My job keeps me pretty busy. And so like and so sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm going to really focus and I'm going to do this. And then it's like, I just don't have time. I don't know. I just run out of time. I have to like,
No, I can
nothing
completely
fancy.
relate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right
It's nothing.
now there's a huge transition at job. This I should be packing
It's
a
like,
week. I should have been
that's what I
packing a week ago because I'm moving on
should.
Friday.
Oh my God.
And so I'm working 7 days a week right now.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's trying to
Well,
figure where to
it
do
doesn't show you. You're like on here. You're like editing stuff. So you should be very proud of yourself. And,
well, I
because
I edit. I don't I edit more now than I ever have, but not as much.
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
edit like hiccup things here and there,
Yeah.
or flubs, and then sometimes I'll do
Yeah.
like bloopers at the end. But yeah, I've been really pleasantly surprised. Most of the people that I've been chatting with are using their phones. And the thing
Yeah.
is, when I watch their videos, I'm looking at my TV like you can see it. Um, I don't even realize that they're using their phones because the
Yeah.
cameras are so good now.
Yeah. Yeah. They're good. Yeah. I mean, it works fine. It seems to work. It's good for the amount of times I film. I'm not like uploading like all the time. I'm not like filming like all the time. So it
You
works.
know,
It's good.
but
It's
it's
good.
impressive because I do notice your recording pattern. So it doesn't look like you have a set schedule
I
with
don't.
recordings. It's when you
It has to be like when I have time, like when I can make the time, and then I'm like, okay, like,
so
yeah,
with the because generally, we talk about YouTube and the algorithms and all that stuff, and you got to do this and that.
yeah.
You have over 1,000 subscribers.
I do. I know. I was like, ooh, like when that hit this that thousand, I was like, oh, I'm like, okay, like that's nice because I feel like I don't like I'm not regularly. I don't have a schedule, and it literally is usually just, hey, I want to talk about this or you know what I
But
want to do,
you
and
know
then
what I think that speaks to? The content itself. What
I mean I so
what you're
yeah, I'm not.
doing, people are resonating with.
Yeah, and that's great because that's what it is for me. I just want to like, it's just like it connecting with people. It's not so much like you said, you're not coming on to educate, this isn't like, this isn't I'm not educating, I'm not spending. I know so many people who research and and I'm so impressed with that, research. I kind of do my own research just by reading, like I'm reading something and then, and I'm like, "Ooh, let me share it." Like let me share it or like let's share this tidbit that so it's usually just something that sparks something in my brain and I'm like, oh, like let me make a video about it or maybe someone else will be interested,
When you
that kind of
think of your channel, do you have like a goal or or overarching theme of the kinds of things that you want to put on? Because I've noticed that recently you have a series, which is your the tarot
yeah.
spreads, which I
My
think is
spread, yes,
great.
my spread out Sunday. Yeah, yeah. Like just something that because I definitely want to focus on, like reading the cards, you know what I mean? And really connecting with the cards and sharing that and other people being like, well, I read it like this, like, or this is how I read it, or this is what I'm getting from it. I want that. I like that input. I'm not like going to be like, nope, like I read it this way and that's it, like that's the way
Yeah.
it is. This is what I'm reading. Like I like that input. So I like, to I wanted to definitely be more, like related to the cards, and those meanings and what we're getting from them and how this imagery and the symbols and what we're seeing and all these visuals, what it's giving us and how and like connecting the cards together. I know how hard it can be to throw down cards and be like, okay, now now what, like, how am I connecting
Yeah.
them? Where's the connection? Like you read them in a silo. You're like, this one means this, that, like it's hard to get comfortable and get confident throwing those cards down and being like, this is what I'm getting. And so that's why I like trying to just off the cuff, like throw them down and like not, and just be like, this is my initial, this is it, my intuition right now. This is what I'm feeling. I don't even know it's like, I'm not reading for anyone. I don't have any context. I'm like, if I was looking at these, this is the kind of message I think I'm getting. Or I'll be like, or I have stuff going on right now that this can relate to. I can see the messages there. That's why I like to spread it out because I'm trying to just like throw them down and be like, all right, like, because I feel like that's a great way to learn. I feel like I did that a lot when I was like reading tarot, just keep putting them down. And like,
Yeah.
if you go to the guidebook, don't go to the guidebook, do your intuition first and then go to the guidebook and like see how, you know what I mean? Are there
I do. I
connections?
do. And I was talking, I think it was to Lisa Papez, that I'm actually learning a lot more from just doing spreads and reading the
Mhm.
cards and getting accustomed. Because I was like a daily pull, like really, it's going to take forever. But I'm finding
Right,
that actually playing with the cards and,
right.
having forcing myself to see them with other cards, I have really am starting to have a deeper understanding on each card.
Yeah, just like play with them. I hate to say it that way because I'm not trying to reduce tarot to like but it can be, you know what I mean? It can be if tarot you feel is like a hobby almost, like because I also feel like it's part of my spiritual practice, but I also just love like I love just pulling them out and like,
Me
and
too.
just what
I,
happens,
I,
like,
I, I talk all the time. They're like little, they're museums. They're little
right, right.
artworks. I find them so fascinating.
Yeah. And
One
when I
thing I like to, I haven't been asking this question a lot. I'm glad I remember. I ask it every once in a while. But are you, are you surprised with how much prep you end up doing just to do a video? Or is it for you just you sit down and you start and you go?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, the only ones like are VRs, like that to
Mm-hmm.
romance tropes. I'm like, oh, now I really got to think about this. But that's fun to me because I'm like, I'm like, now it makes me go to my tarot and go, you know what? Like, this one is the enemies to lovers. Like, I hated you at first, like I didn't like you at all. And like, now I love you. And like, so it's like, it's like strengthening my relationship with the car, so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's definitely more, prep than others, but sometimes I'm just like, I want to, I think I just want to make a video and like, I'll be like, hey, I was thinking about this, or, I have a lot of like ideas. I'm always like that. I'm like, I get all these
You write them
ideas.
down?
I try to, because it'll be like the most inopportune times. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like online at the grocery store, like, hey, what would be a good tarot video? And then I'll like forget. So like I have been trying to, or like putting a note in my phone, like tarot video, this would be good. Like,
Yeah, I literally bought
um,
myself a little fancy, a little
mhm.
notebook to write them down. In fact, I scoured all the channels to find as many hashtags as I could for my hashtag Saturdays. So I have
Oh
tons
yeah.
of hashtags that I
Oh, I'm
still
sure.
can do.
Yeah. There's some really good ones. And it's so funny too, because I want to do them, but I don't always have it's the time thing.
It
Because like I
is.
have to go, like dig out. Now you're like digging decks out. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been like surrounded, like they come off the shelf and they're all over the place. And
If
you know,
a good hashtag to do where you really don't have to do any prep or anything is Lisa Pup has this 25 wacky questions.
hmm.
It's just
Oh
25
yeah.
questions and you just answer them. And
Answer
then
them. Mhm.
I did it because it was like from 5 years ago. So she did another video after she saw mine and did another 25 wacky
Another
questions.
25. Yeah.
So those were a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And talk to me about being authentic on camera. And that goes also with what you don't share on the channel, like things that are
Hmm.
off limits. Because, for
Sure.
example, I don't think it's a big surprise that I'm a gay man. However, I never really openly talked about being a gay
Hmm.
man or talked
Sure.
about my ex-husband Steve on the
Hmm.
channel. But watching other people, especially bringing her up a lot during this channel for some reason, Lisa and her wife Peggy,
She's a
it,
pillar. She's a pillar of our community. I feel
yeah,
like,
they
she's,
all of a sudden and it wasn't that I was being inauthentic. It was just I was kind of guarded. Um,
yeah. Yeah.
I tend to cuss more in my personal life than I do on camera
Oh
as
yeah. Me too.
well.
Yeah.
So,
I'm I like sometimes I have to be like, oh my God, like, what I mean? Don't say that, or I'll, yeah. I sometimes in my videos too, like I do in my videos, like it just comes out, and
yeah.
that's like, I feel like it is what it is, like,
But
but
you pretty much yourself on camera as well?
oh yeah, I think it's pretty much like what you see is what you get. I mean, some things, I try, especially, too, like things can be, I feel like too, like things can be misconstrued so easily too. So like, I always try to
Yes.
like, to make sure I'm like intentional with my words, like mindful
Yes.
about the things I say, because it, you could just be talking and talking and talking, and like it could just be and it could be intent taken, like I said, misconstrued, or like the
Yes.
intent could be like, so I try to like make sure. I think no, but I think I'm pretty much, like I talk about my, a lot of times if I'm talking about things that have happened in my life, because I use tarot for that introspection, it automatically comes up. Like I talk about my divorce. I've been divorced twice. Like I have no problems being like, I'm
Okay.
divorced twice. This is what it is. This is what, you know what I mean? This is life. And like, that I was in a very toxic relationship. Like I talk about things that have happened, because I feel like
They're
it's
relatable.
a common thread. Yeah, it's a common thread for people, unfortunately, right? This is the human experience, and we're all human beings. And so we've experienced, like things, any kind of changes in my life, that have big changes that have happened, or things, decisions I'm trying to make, I'll talk about, those types of things. I'm pretty open. It's nothing that like people in my life don't know, people around, it's not gonna like, it's gonna get out and like, it's gonna be a big thing. It's just, these are things these are facts about me. So
I,
it's, they're,
yeah, sharing the fact that I was a therapist was a really hard decision for me to share
mhm.
because I
Yeah.
didn't want people to think, well, Benny said it and he's a therapist and it must
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
right. And I'm like, I'm not your therapist.
Right. Right.
And I'm
Right.
not a therapist on camera. I'm a normal guy that loves tarot.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right. It's different. Yeah. Yeah. I would imagine that's, yeah. Yeah.
So that took me a while. Who do you
Mhm.
watch? What tarot tube channels are you watching right now?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I watch a little everyone, right? Like when I have the time, I usually, like while I'm eating breakfast in the morning, usually like put on, but I watch, like I said, I feel like I watch everyone. I watch Lisa, I watch Lisa. I've been watching that, her for, I've been watching her for forever. She was like one of the first. And I love Robin from Robin's Reflections. She brings me joy, Robin from Robin's. Like she just seems like she's always happy and having a good time and enjoying herself, and just she seems really authentic. So I like to watch her. She makes me, she makes me happy watching with her walkthroughs and her decks and the way she talks about them. And I love Krista from Krista Chronicles. She's so like authentic.
Oh,
Talk
yeah.
about authenticity. She's so like she's just a bright, like, cheerful again person, but is also really okay with talking about all the hard stuff. You know what I mean? Like and talking about
You
the hard
know,
stuff. So it's
she's
not
one
so
of the few that will have really long videos. And
Yeah,
she
yeah.
has tons of views on them. I thought I'm a talker, so I thought I'd have
Mhm.
these videos that would be over an hour long.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
watching people who have over hour long videos made it normalized it for me. But I'm finding I'm usually within 30, 40 minutes, which is normal
Yeah.
for me, except for the tarot chats. But in her enthusiasm for tarot, you can feel it through the whole video, which is just
Yeah.
wonderful. You can
Yeah.
tell she really loves tarot.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
She's the
It's
most eclectic tarot collector. And when I say
yeah,
collector,
really.
her,
Yes. Yes.
her library, it is extremely, like she'll bring out decks and I'm like, I have never seen that deck.
You might
Or,
be right, right, right.
or decks
They
I'd be
run
like,
the gamut. Yeah, they
I
run the
would,
gamut of like, yeah.
yeah.
Like,
So I was very surprised with, and she's so young. Uh,
yes, yeah.
to see,
Yeah.
all this that she brings to the table for us.
Mhm.
And what kind of decks are you attracted to? Do you have a style of decks you like, or is it pretty hodgepodge?
It really is hodgepodge. I feel like I used to think I knew. I thought I knew myself. I thought I'd be like, yeah, I would never like that deck, but then I end up getting it. So it's interesting. It has evolved and changed, just like me as a person, evolving and changing forever. It has evolved. I feel like it used to be more, um, like more like fantasy. Like that fantasy. I
Hmm.
didn't really like modern decks. Like I was like, oh, I'm not really a modern deck type of person. Like because um I don't want to say it's like an escape because that's not what it is at all, but like there's that feeling of like
Yes,
escaping and now
it's
I'm
a
in another
magical
world.
kind of feeling.
Right, right. I like to, it's I'm in another world. Like I don't want to see someone vacuuming because I don't want to vacuum. You know what I mean? Like I just want to forget that I have to vacuum. Like
So the
it's
housewife
like
tarot is probably out.
actually I have
Do
it.
you, I was gonna say, do you have that one?
I have it, and you know what is funny? I got it recently. Like it was a very recent because I was like, "Ooh, this is so cheeky and like so funny." Like, and I was like, "I love it." Like, and also too, just like that whole like the feminine arc, like I'm taking
Yeah.
care of my man, I'm coming home and I'm cooking and clean, just so that it's funny that you say that, but it's just like I never was into modern decks. And then like I got like the This Might Hurt tarot, and I was like, man, I love this. Like, and man, like so
Let
much
me
of that
tell
just
you, I did
hit me like in the
not.
heart. Like,
I did not want that deck. I could care less for
mhm.
that deck. But there's an Oracle deck that I absolutely love that I was finally able to get my hands on, Connected and Free.
Oh yeah,
And then,
uh-huh.
here comes Lisa again. Lisa, Lisa showed a video, her decluttering video recently, and she
Mhm.
brought out This Might Hurt, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I bet this would look great with Connected and Free." And she put
Yeah,
them
I didn't agree.
together, and they were stunning. So I went on the hunt to find it, and I wanted the indie, not the mass
The
market.
indie, yeah, you were looking
But
yeah.
it's interesting, yes,
Yeah.
decks all of a sudden for one reason or another can come
And
up
it's like and
random.
a lot of it I feel like has to do with the creator. Like,
Mhm.
I connect with what the creator says about what inspired them to make the deck. So, like, even if it's deck I was like, "I don't think I would be into this," or, like, the I don't know, it's not really my thing. But then, like, I read the guidebook entries, and the creator talks about her father and her grandfather, and this is and it just, like, it went straight to my, like, to my heart, and, like, that's how I end up connecting with it. So I think it does have a lot to do with the creator. And I feel like me like recently, like I like more, I don't want to say weird, I consider myself weird, so I say weird in the most loving way, but like weirder type decks, like that's really what's sort of sparking my like sparking
I have images of decks in my head just rolling through because I know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
like I'm like I never would have liked that, like the Somnia tarot. I have such a connection to that deck, and it's so like it's such a jarring deck, but I have such a connection to
You
that deck.
do you have the Death Doula Oracle?
No, I don't.
It is the perfect, and I'm not kidding. There are people out there who have it. It is the perfect pairing.
pair for the Somnia.
Yes,
I'll have to check it out. Yeah,
it
I'll have
has
to
the
check it.
same emotional feel, but when you put them
Yeah,
together, for me,
yeah.
I can't use it as a regular reader. It's a reader where I feel I need to heal, but I need to, bring up
Yeah.
that. That's what those two decks do for me.
Right. This,
Um,
yeah.
and the
It's
Death Doula really is like a healing deck for
okay.
real, like I don't know, when your friend really hurts your feelings and you don't know if you could be friends any longer, you know,
Hmm.
using them
Just like
together can help.
coming to terms with that or something.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Somnia just like I remember all this and I was like, whoa, they're like like shrouded and like there's no and then I was like, oh, they're photos. Like he actually staged these. And then when I found out it was all shot on Long Island, and I realized every
Uh,
single place he photographed, I'm like, I know where that is, and like it had such a connection with me. I
yeah,
was like,
I could
this is
see
like
that.
where I grew up. It was like this and like it's still one of my. I love that deck, and like on a level that's just very different, and like something like the Dream Keepers Tarot, which is so weird. Like it's some of it is very strange, right? Like you're looking at it, you're like, what is that? Like what is going on there? Like their heads are not on their bodies, and there's not a head, it's something else. But that deck has one of the best guidebooks. And again, it was about the creator's connection to the divine feminine, her repairing that sort of very like strained relationship she had to that. And I was like, oh my God, like it just drew me in, and that guidebook, and like and that's what ends up happening. Like I said, I feel like I connect so much to what creators say, and it could be a deck that I never would have thought I bought, but because whatever inspired them, or like their journey creating it or something, that's like it ends up being a deck that I like love to use. So like I
Did
feel
you
like they use their energy into it or something, like into it or something, and like I
have
feel that.
what are your go-to decks right now?
Oh my gosh. I have so many decks on my desk right now. I am like, what am I doing? But I feel like Circle of Doors is like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
man, that
People
deck
are
is
loving that. I haven't been caught by that bug.
yeah, but that one is speaking to me on a whole nother level. Just again so that's definitely one that's my go-to. I'm looking at right now, and Tarot of Persephone's Garden again,
Okay.
just because it's so beautiful, and it's like I have a thing for John William Waterhouse, like pre-Raphaelite art. That's another one that like that's one. So like that one is like it's filled with it. That's all it's all it is. It's just so beautiful, and like I've been like putting that with other decks, the Intuitive Night Goddess, and oh my gosh, they're so like lush together. I don't know another word to use, but they're just so like they feel like they're so connected. And again, it's always indicative of my spiritual practice. I have a
Yeah.
very like goddess centered practice, and so like that's always going to feel like it's always going to be there, like it's going to be out and noticeable, I feel like. So
Do
those
you,
are the decks that I've been using. Yeah.
do you have any out of print decks?
Do I have any out of print decks? Yeah, I have the Yudes Tarot,
Okay.
the Hudes, the Yudes Tarot.
Yeah,
That's
I
out of
don't
print.
know that one.
It's a US Games deck. It is out of print, and a very amazing member of our tarot community actually sent it to me for free as
Oh,
a gift because they were going to rehome it. And I had talked about, that was a deck that I had, that I've been really wanting to get my hands on. So,
that's very sweet.
um, yeah, so that one I have like the fairy Wicca tarot. I'm trying to think. I'm sure I have a few. Oh, the Ember and Aura tarot is out of print. Yeah.
And any unicorn decks that you're still looking for in case one of our viewers has it and ready to
Yeah.
rehome?
The Blood Moon tarot is one of the decks that I would like to get my hands on.
Well, there,
Um, I know that it's coming, right? Like
yeah,
it's I've been
yeah,
like, yeah, yeah,
yeah. They posted on their website. I
yeah.
actually got the newsletter. Are you
Yes,
signed
I
up for
think
the
I saw. I
newsletter?
think you
Okay,
shared it. Yeah, I think you
yeah. So
shared it. Like,
it's coming up. Definitely coming
yeah,
up.
I know. So I'll get it. I'm assuming I'll get my hands on it eventually. But that was one that I was like, how did I miss this? And like, yeah, I was really sad that I missed out on that one. But yeah, I've been definitely more discerning with my purchases
Purchases. I
because I
still have.
get overwhelmed. Yeah, I get overwhelmed with so many. I do
I've
get
actually
over.
gotten better. I haven't bought a lot, but all of a sudden, at the beginning of June, in a 3-day period, I bought 5 decks, and I regret one. So that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not.
80% success rate.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll be
I mean, I
rehoming the other one.
think I have like 5 or 6 Kickstarters coming in. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be getting decks. Like, it's not like they're not coming. Like they're, so I'm like, I do have decks coming. It's, I don't
Right
need
now, I
to.
have three coming. I have the Victorian Romantic, which is a backup, the Tarot of
Hmm.
Prague, which I
Oh my
did not think
God.
I was gonna get. Oh my
You
God,
didn't,
I'm
you don't
so
think you're gonna get
excited.
that one? Yeah, I was gonna say that one's
And I
been
got a
like,
backup of that one too.
yeah, yeah, that
And
one's
then
been.
Lisa's
Mhm.
Unicorn Journeys
Yes, yeah, I
Tarot
have
deck.
that one. Yeah, that one's gonna be coming.
Do
Hmm.
you journal?
I do. I do journal. I do. Um, I just like I'll like just decide to write down the card. Like, like I'll, if something really resonates, I don't do it. It's not like a practice where I'm like, I sit down and I journal, because anytime I try to make like, say, I'm going to do this, I don't do it. Like anytime I put like some sort of restriction, like I'm going to do it every day or I'm going to do that. That's
Yeah.
why I fail at these challenges like that are on Instagram. I like go in all gung ho. And I'm like, first day, second day, great. Third day, by like the fifth day, I'm like, I haven't done it. And then like, forget it's the middle of the month. I'm like, oh, I haven't done it. Like, anytime I try to put myself into it doesn't work. But if I
But
just
you
free
did,
form,
I think it's Mindful Tarot. You did the 78.
I did the drop 'em 78,
Yes. And
drop 'em
that,
78.
yeah, your journal.
I didn't make my way all the way through that. I
Oh,
almost did. I did pretty good. I got like through three of the suits, I think. I almost did. I was good. I was good with that one. But even then it just, I don't know, life happens, you know what I mean? And
hmm
then it's one of those things where like I missed a day, I missed a day, I missed a day. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never gonna catch up. And like, so then it becomes more like homework. So I don't want it to feel like that. Like
yes.
I have an assignment missing. So like I have to
Yeah,
catch
no,
up.
I tried. Don Michelle inspired
Hmm.
me to try, and
Hmm.
I failed miserably. And then I'm like, you know what?
Fail. It just
I
wasn't
don't
for
like
you.
journaling. I just don't like
Yeah.
it. It's boring.
Yeah.
It's hard. It always
Yeah.
looks ugly. I like what I write. What I write, I like,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it's just like, I'm in class writing and I turn it in and
Right.
somebody
Right.
puts a grade on
You
it.
don't want it to feel like work. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not supposed to feel like work. It
But I will
should.
say, I'm going to do this again on my Instagram. In the mornings, I was writing out my readings. And then I
Hmm.
take pictures of them and post them. I
Yes.
really
Yeah.
did enjoy that, but it didn't
Yeah.
feel like journaling. It felt more like processing
Right.
the reading.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do that.
so
I do that all the time. I post it on Instagram all the time, but I don't even write it in my journal. I just literally, like, I just share my thoughts and
I
that's
gotta
it. And
tell
I send.
you, one of my favorite pictures on your Instagram. I think it's a recent one of this little stuffed round animal thing. I don't know what it is, but I stopped and I just looked at it and I thought it was the cutest thing on earth. What is that?
It's Melissa Muffin. She's a muffin. Right? It was probably Melissa Muffin. She looks like a muffin. I
Uh,
featured her in one of my videos about being the kids, like the decks that make me feel like a kid, or the deck that, bring out that like sort of kid. She's a muffin. Yeah, she's a stuffed muffin. It's very weird. I'm like the Somnia Tarot. I love it so much. And I have like a muffin, a stuffed muffin, like sitting next to me while
that's
I'm
funny.
going, that's all part of who I am. It's all integrated.
Now, has having a tarot channel and your journaling, has that influenced your tarot reading or your tarot practice in any way?
Um, I think that it did. Like I think it started to, and I
Mm-hmm.
had and I had to put a stop to it because it was getting to be more of like a chore, right? It was like I'm gonna read tarot and like I'm gonna do this just for the chat, for just the channel. And I didn't like the way that was feeling. I don't like the way that feels. And I feel like it's very easy to fall, at least for me, it was like easy to fall into that, right? Like
Yeah.
let me like just do that, for that purpose. And I was like, no, that's not what this is about. Like tarot is a part of who I am. It's a part of, it's what I do. It's been there. It's been there longer than the YouTube channel. So like, and again, that's like that authentic word. Like I want it to be authentic. I want it to be something that is going to translate to there's joy in doing it. There's meaning in doing it. There's meaningful activity for me. It's something that's bringing meaning. I'm doing it purposefully and intentionally and not just like, let me just do this, to get it onto the YouTube. So I feel like it's made me be a little bit more intentional about what I'm doing, like and how I'm using tarot, because I don't ever want it to be like, oh, I'm just, throwing this up
Flippantly.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that can happen. It happens a lot when you're on and you're like, even with decks, it's happened to me before with decks, like, "Oh, let me get this deck because everyone has it."
Oh
Like,
yeah.
everyone has it, and I'm like, "What am I doing?" Like, you know what I mean? I'm like one of those people that, like, doesn't usually do that in any other area of my life. Like, everyone has this, so let me get it. Like, or, I don't usually do that. Like, I'm pretty much like my own person, at least now at 47 years old. Like, you know what I mean? I'm in a place where like I know who I am, I know what I don't like, I know what I like, and I'm pretty good with that. So I'm like, why am I buying decks that I'm like, I'm not going to use? Like the Wildwood Tarot, I did it twice. I bought the Wildwood Tarot twice. I'm like, what's the definition of crazy? Like doing the
The
same.
same
I'm
thing
like,
over and over
why
again.
would I do this? Yeah. Because I was like determined. I was like, I'm determined to connect to that deck. And I was like, why? Like, why am I going to do that? Like, why am I going to do a year in the Wildwood? Like, I don't want to do a year in the Wildwood. I don't like it. I just don't like the deck. It's nothing for nothing other than it's me. It's not, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the deck itself. But yeah, I think like it's just, I think it was starting to change me, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
there was a point where I was like, wait,
Yeah, no,
like
that's why I
wait,
asked the question. Has that
yeah,
affected? Yeah.
like I had to be like, wait a second, like, let's reverse that. And
I think what happens more for me than anything is watching other YouTube channels, and they can influence how I do my practice
Mhm.
or my
Yeah.
collecting or all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I think what doing the channel has done more for me is actually made me appreciate and be more intentional in my tarot practice.
Mhm.
It's allowed me to do that. And so
Mhm.
I think I've incorporated tarot into my life in a way that works really, really well for me now.
Mhm.
And doing the tarot channel has provided me a way of also expressing, my joy for tarot that I don't think
Mhm.
I could have just using the tarot by myself.
Mhm. Yeah. It's the
Do you have any
connection.
plans for your tarot channel? Any ideas? Because now you have a series with the tarot
Mhm.
spreads.
Right. Yeah.
How
I
did
think
that
I'm
come
gonna.
about?
I don't honestly. I don't. I was just like. I think it was because I was in a like I was looking through a guidebook and I was like, man, this has got a great like what is this? This is a great spread. Like look at this tarot spread. And I was like, you know what? There's probably one in every single guidebook I have on this shelf, right? There's got to be tarot spreads.
That's
And
a really great series to use a spread from all the guidebooks of
I'm
your.
like,
I
yeah.
think that's a great idea.
I
I
was
don't think
like,
I've
this is
seen
like
anything like that out there.
and it wasn't like I was like, I have to be really innovative. Like I have to do something different than I was literally just like, why is this like I bet you every guidebook has a spread in it, right? Like they all do, like they all have, and some of them are like really neat and have like really cool names. And I'm like, ooh, like so like that's what it is. It was just like I'm gonna check out all these guidebooks now and find, some neat spreads. Or like sometimes I just go into my tarot books too. Because sometimes there's some cool spreads in just the
Yeah,
books about tarot.
I
Yeah.
think that is a fantastic idea. I think that's unique. I don't know anybody that's just doing tarot spread from guidebooks. So
Yeah, like I was
that's
like, let's just go in there and yeah, like and grab the spreads and like it's again, it's just playing with the cards. It's like another way
hmm
to, it's an excuse for me to get them out, and play with them and yeah, and like I really hope I was thinking about maybe doing a live. I've never done a live. That's like very stressful and like thinking about it, but like I'm
I did
stressed like thinking about it, but
I did my first live when I did 100, my only one. When I got 100 videos,
Mhm.
it was a little, it felt a little hectic because I'm talking, reading, trying to find the
Right.
questions, talking. Oh, and then trying to get connected live was a nightmare
Oh, sh-
because I couldn't see them, but they could see me, but I could read the chat. Oh my God, it was
Mhm.
horrific.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, and
Uh,
it's the funny thing is that like I do it for part of my job is like I train, like I give professional development. I stand up in front of people. I do virtual trainings. I'm on Zoom all the time. I'm like, get it together. I'm pretty sure I can handle it. You know what I mean? Like I should, I'm used to dealing with all the tech issues, like all this stuff that happens. So, but I really would love to do like spread it out Sunday live one day. You know what I mean?
that
One
would
Sunday and just do it live. Like, and just and then like then other people can give their ideas of what they think, I mean, what they think those cards mean and things like that, because
that would be
sometimes it
fantastic.
feels so lonely, like it feels so lonely just sharing them myself. I'd love to hear everyone else's opinion on what they think they mean. So I think that's definitely something, and I feel like just more collaborations like you have inspired me, the way that you're connecting with everyone, like just thinking about like how I can do more collaborations
I
because
think that
I
would be
found some
great.
great yeah, I found such great like kindred spirits like Tara, who you had on, and
Yes.
Kelsey, and like they're like, they're like these kindred spirits, like I see so many different, like we have so many things in common, but then there's so many things that are different from, you know what I mean, me, and like the way the way they use tarot and stuff, that it just makes it like interesting, and you know what I mean,
Well,
and I
I
use
will tell that
that.
I've made some tarot friends, but I've
Mhm.
made Lisa from Mythical Witchery. We have
Mhm.
become extremely good friends. We talk several times a week. I
Mhm.
mean, I adore her. I
Yeah.
absolutely have come to care for her so deeply.
Mhm.
She's like a joy in my life, and it would have never happened had I not
Mhm.
started collaborating and meeting other people.
Right.
So there's so many different benefits in doing this, but I also get to learn a lot from other people.
Mhm.
And then I get to talk
Yeah.
about tarot, which that in itself is a lot of fun for me.
Right. Right. That's the key. So I definitely think that's my plan. I hope I'm able to do that,
I
more
think that'll be
often.
great.
Yeah.
So anything else that you wish maybe I might have asked that I didn't think about asking?
Um, I don't think so. I
I,
think that,
I
yeah.
have a last question though.
Yeah.
Uh, your photo over your right shoulder.
Mhm.
Tell me about it. I know it's from that deck. I don't have the
Yeah.
deck. So
The Witch
why
Sister.
that photo of all photos there?
Oh, well, I have an entire gallery wall of Julia Jeffries art right here
Do
next to me.
you?
Right. Yes,
Oh,
I have
okay.
two. I have two of her original drawings. They're
Wow.
hers. They're pencil. They're her pencil drawings. They are like one of my most prized possessions. I just adore her. The Tarot of the Hidden Realm was one of my, again, one of those decks that I had early on. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
probably like, and I just connected with it. Her art, something about her art. I know how it's so funny, that deck, and everyone talks about how close up it is, and like how it's so hard because it's like they're just their faces. And I think it was just so amazing how many emotions she was able to evoke
Mm-hmm.
just by being close up on their faces, and the way their hair, or the way their body posture. So I found just that she was able to do that. So that was one of my favorite. And then when I've been following Witch Sister, like since she put it on Facebook. She's been, she would I've been following the creation of that deck for years. And then, I mean, so when it came out, she wanted to transition the group, and I'm so like grateful that she reached out to some of us and asked us if we wanted to be admins, if we wanted to take over the Witch Sister group now that it was out in the world. So now I'm able to do that, and we're doing like a deck study, and it's like amazing to me because,
That's
again, like
awesome.
I never would have been able to connect to Julia and like have that connection with her if not for tarot, and then like Facebook, and and Instagram, and her, and I would have never had that connection. So she, like, her artwork, again, just it speaks to me. So yes, that's obviously from her, from the that's the cover of the box from the deck.
Yeah.
But I also, like I said, have two original drawings of hers that
Very
that are,
nice.
yeah, that are
That's
amazing.
awesome.
So yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
glad I asked.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I adore her. So if anyone does have that deck and wants to study it a little deeper, we have the Facebook group, the Witch Sister Tarot Facebook group, which is just, basically us gushing over the deck and and going through it, and doing spreads with it, and
What I'll
diving
do
deep.
is I'll add that link to the description so if people want to join that
That'd
Facebook
be great.
group,
Yeah, it's just a Facebook.
they can
It's
join.
just Witch Sister. That would be great. That would be great.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
For having me. It was so nice. It was a
It was
pleasure.
lovely meeting you.
It really was. I'm really happy I did it. And again, like you said, sometimes it's not fun to just be home on a Sunday and, and
Yeah.
like, like I'd rather ignore all the chores I had to do and do this
Oh, like
instead.
packing?
Yeah, like packing for your move. Yeah. So thank you for taking the time, because I'm sure you you have a million other things that you could be doing right
I
now.
do, but
So
this is for me, this is also part of self-care. Is
yeah,
doing stuff that I
absolutely.
enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, everybody, this was another Tarot Chat. My name is Benny, and until next time, you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.
Bye.